All right, everybody, welcome in to another episode of FOFL BOFL. Today, we are joined by a couple of guests. Yours truly, Mark, or Oh By Mark. We are also joined with Brian, or Seaweed on a Stick. Go ahead and say hi, Brian.
Hello.
And we are joined by a new guest today, coming in all the way from Cleveland, Ohio. We've got Corey, or your dude, joining us today.
What up?
Missed opportunity to be like, what's up? You know, the classic. You know, everybody understands that.
Classic.
Still.
Everyone knows. Yeah, classic.
I wonder who the youngest in the league is.
I'm 33, so
It's probably me.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone can compete.
The new guy, I don't know how old Dan is.
I don't know, but I love him.
Yeah.
But we love him.
Hey, we all love him.
We love Dan.
All right, guys, we do have a pretty long episode in store as usual for these off-season ones, so we're going to cut to the chase. We're taking Corey's idea that he put into the chat. For those of you that didn't see it, looking at you, Coulter, who shut your notifications off, you bitch.
Was that?
Corey's idea was to go through the old drafts that we had, the old rookie draft starting in 2021, which is when a bunch of you guys joined the league. So it was a good place to start and gave us an even round, because it's not even, around 5 years to go through. So that was a really good idea, Corey. So what we're going to do, I know, thank you. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with 2021. We're going to recap the first 2 rounds on the draft. So we'll go round 1. We'll talk about a couple of players. We'll go round 2. We'll talk about a couple of players. And then we'll just kind of loop rounds 3 through 5 together. So we won't spend too much time harping on a lot of these players, but obviously we like to have conversation on here. And we'll just go year by year. Along the way, we're going to be nominating a couple of things. We're going to be nominating best pick, worst pick, best value. We might come up with a couple of them more as we go along, but we'll put some polls out there so everybody can kind of play along. One thing that I'll kind of point out there, I didn't even tell you guys this, you boys this yet. We have an award that we're going to give out to on this as best steal of the draft. And as I was going through this, there was only one obvious answer. So we're going to go ahead and name that the Puka Nacua Award.
Yeah.
Because he's the only reasonable answer.
The one that got away.
Yeah, we're going to take Puka out of the equation because he's the only obvious answer if he's in there. So we're just going to name it the Puka Award.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
That's solid.
Yeah, because otherwise we're all just going to be like, no, I mean, it's Puka. That's the steal of the draft. Everybody's good. If you disagree with that, you're wrong. I'm sorry.
Show me someone who can beat Puka.
Right, exactly.
There might be some surprises, but probably no one that's going to get to that level.
Right. Nobody in the end of the 4th round in our draft, mostly undrafted to a top 5 wide receiver.
I'll never forget that.
Yeah,
I almost had him.
Almost sniped. I will say, if we were counting undrafted, I did get Brock Purdy off the waivers. So,
nice.
That is a steal.
That's a good steal.
That was a big steal.
That's a good steal.
I did use 100%.
He came out of nowhere.
Yeah, he did. I used 100. I think we had $100 in Fab, and I used all 100 in that exact moment in time.
As you should.
Worth it, though.
Yeah, 100%. All right, cool. Well, we will jump in starting in 2021. So this was quite a long time ago. We did have in here when I was looking at it. I don't know if it did this for you guys. There was like a nameless team. It said Team 8. Do you have that in your notes at all?
Now.
Okay, yeah. I didn't know who that was. I don't remember who got kicked out and then who placed them.
I believe that was my spot. Whoever had the spot before I came into the league, because 21 I was not in yet.
Okay, so you weren't here 21.
Yeah.
Okay, I couldn't remember when everybody got into the league, so it was you. So that was probably Cam.
Yeah,
asshole.
That's right. That is where.
That was probably Cam.
Butthole.
All right, so I'll run through the picks here for round 1, and then I'll let you guys jump in here with your thoughts. And you can start really anywhere you want to. So round 1 in 2021, we had Adrian taking Trevor Lawrence. Coulter took Najee Harris. Matt took Kyle Pitts. Corey took Jamar Chase. Bo took Trey Lance. Greg took Jalen Waddle. Mark took Justin Fields. Assume Cam took Devonta Smith. Alex took Travis Etienne. Bo took Javonte Williams. Adrian took Zach Wilson. And Rob took Trey Sermon to round out the round. Corey, I'll start with you. Let's get your thoughts on getting the best dynasty asset outside of a quarterback.
Yes.
At the 4th spot of a rookie draft.
Okay, so to be 100% honest, I wasn't even targeting Jamar Chase in this draft. I wanted Kyle Pitts.
Of course.
Ooh.
And I was like, oh, this dude's gonna be generational. This is the guy. Like, if I have a good tight end, I'm good to go. Like, that's a leg up. And couldn't make a deal work. Couldn't get it. They took Kyle Pitts, and then Jamar Chase just fell into my lap. And I was like, all right, I'm taking Jamar Chase. And honest to God, thankfully that happened, because holy shit, would that have changed the entire trajectory of my team.
So was there a deal that you were trying to set up to move up at that time?
Oh, I don't even remember, and I don't even think I can go back and see that far.
No, all that gets deleted.
Yeah, but like, I think I was like, I wanted him, but like, it was only one spot, so I was obviously swap picks, and then something extra, something like not too like crazy though, because it's only one pick. Granted, though, it is the high end quality, like tier players. I'm trying to remember exactly what I offered, but my team is so much different than, because I got an orphan team.
Yeah.
My team is so much different now than what it was then. Like, I'm trying to remember, like, it was probably like Kyle Pitts it was probably like a pick swap and then maybe like a 2nd round pick or something like that.
Sure.
Which is pretty reasonable.
Which is just to move up and get the guy that I want. Didn't work out, but it worked out overall. Yeah, it didn't work out in the moment, but overall, like, it worked out far and beyond better than anything I could have ever imagined. So,
yeah, I mean, it is cradled by 2 not so great picks down the line here. It's kind of remarkable that it goes from Kyle Pitts, Chase, and then Trey Lance. You're just snuggled right in the middle there with the best pick ever.
Listen, Trey Lance is starting tonight in the Hall of Fame game. Excuse you.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep. NFL starter Trey Lance.
Yeah, NFL starter Trey Lance.
Who I really wanted in the draft, though, was Trevor Lawrence. I also tried to move up to get him. I offered Adrian a king's ransom.
Yeah.
For that 1st round pick to get him, and he didn't take it. So,
well, because Trevor was supposed to be the next Andrew Luck.
He was. And that's exactly why I was offering a king's ransom. But again, looking back on it, thank God that didn't happen.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Dynasty is always interesting like that. And that's why I think that's such a great exercise, because you can really go back and be like, obviously a few years later, it's no shit you're taking Jamar Chase. And do you guys remember why Jamar Chase wasn't number 102 that year? Because he was supposed to be 102 behind Trevor Lawrence. Do you guys remember why he wasn't? Why he slipped to Corey at 104?
No, I can't remember off the top of my head. No way.
He dropped 2 passes in practice, and everybody panicked and said, "Dude can't catch the ball." And he was quoted as saying, "It's just harder to see because I'm used to the stripes on the ball in college." And everybody panicked that he wasn't going to be able to adjust.
I vaguely remember that happening.
Yeah.
I mean, that sounds very, very on par. I mean, even just with the most recent thing of CJ Stroud, primed to be the one guy, and then he failed a test, and they're like, "Oh no."
Yeah.
Maybe
CJ
not.
Stroud
Maybe we should just not draft him at all.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, pretty crazy. So you got Jamar Chase.
I did.
Instead of Kyle Pitts.
Mm-hmm.
A, because a trade didn't go through, but because dude dropped a couple passes in practice.
As you have found out in the playoffs last year, I have been pretty lucky in regards to some of the things that have happened in this Dynasty League.
You need a stroke of luck.
Oh, hell yeah, you do.
or sacrifices. Again, Bo's keeping his secrets, and that's fair.
Oh yeah.
I'm actually going to talk about Bo a little bit because I think it was eventually the trade that we made, that 3-way trade, Mark, that probably boosted the Bo dynasty here.
Oh, for sure, Corey. Even when that trade was happening, all right, we can. Is that this draft? Yeah, because that involved Trey Lance
like everyone from
and Justin Fields. So I don't remember all the details. Do you have the details of that trade?
I could probably look at.
Go look up Justin Fields or Trey Lance, and just click on the history and sleeper, and it should come up in their trade history. But the meat of the meat of the trade was I really, really loved Trey Lance and wanted Trey Lance on my team. So I got Trey Lance and I gave up Justin Fields plus to get him.
Yes.
Corey wanted Justin Fields and gave up Jalen Hurts to get him.
I also gave up CeeDee Lamb. Don't forget that.
Oh no, I did forget that. Wow.
Yep.
See, this is fun too, because me coming in these later years and seeing Bo's team and being like, I think I've asked Mark a couple times, being like, how did this happen? How did you guys let this happen?
No, that's all on you, Corey.
Oh, what are you talking about?
I just wanted Trey Lance.
No, it's you and your trade addiction that you have.
I do have a trade addiction. That's correct.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I gave up Jalen Hurts to Bo, CeeDee Lamb to Bo, and a second round pick. And I got back AJ Brown, AJ Dillon, and Justin Fields.
So you gave up second round quarterback in the NFL draft in Jalen Hurts.
Yep. I wasn't high on him at that point, though. So
they never work out. They never work out. Ever.
Until
I get it. Until Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is the exception to the rule. Yeah, for sure. It's wild to look.
But it's crazy. It's crazy.
I love Bo, but also fuck Bo.
Yeah. Fuck you, Bo.
Fuck you, Bo.
Yeah, so it was. I don't know who initiated that though. I don't know if
I don't remember that. I don't remember honestly.
But yeah, I think that was the trade that started the Bo dynasty. To be quite honest, so if anyone wants to be angry at anyone, be angry at Bo. But if you want to be angry at someone else, I guess you could be angry at Mark or me.
Yeah, I mean, there's been some trades in there that have, besides that one, that have given Bo value boost that I've been like, what the fuck, guys?
I agree with that.
There's been some egregious mistakes made, but I don't call those out.
Not here.
All right. Anybody else that you want to call out on round one?
Justin Fields. I will call out Justin Fields. I will say that even though he didn't work out for the Chicago Bears, he has been a solid fantasy quarterback. Otherwise,
yeah. When he gets a start, he's a good fantasy player. I just don't think he has survival in the NFL. I don't think he's good enough to be a starter.
Like you think? Okay, so you think that pretty much like if this doesn't pan out, he's done.
Yeah, I think this is his last shot to Sam Darnold and then not turn into a pumpkin. And I just don't see it happening on the Jets of all places.
Yeah, fair enough.
I like Justin Fields. I'm rooting for Justin Fields and Garrett Wilson. It's just the Jets.
It was also really concerning recently with like him being like the first big quarterback to get any kind of like notable injury.
Yeah,
I remember
he is fine.
He's fine, but I remember seeing that and being like, a little sad because I had Justin Fields, but I was like, this is, I don't know. He got like a 3-year contract there, but it feels like it's like a 1 year,
a pretty good deal,
and a 1 year contract, and then 2 years to be on the team, and we might cut you. But like, it does feel like the first 3 games are going to decide a lot for him.
Okay, I mean, so looking at Spotrac for his contract, he's an unrestricted free agent in 2027, and he does have a really big cap hit next year. So I wonder if they can get out of that if they cut him early or if they're stuck with him through 2026, regardless of what happens. Because if it hits them for $23 million, regardless, they're going to keep him.
Yeah.
They're going to give him 2 years.
I mean, I hope it really works out. I
don't because fuck the Jets, but
I was going to say, like, in the chat, when I said that I think that he has potential to have top 5, I do genuinely believe that he has potential to be top 5. And that might sound crazy to a lot of people, but that's my personal belief. And that's why when I was trading him, I traded him for what I did, because I think he's going to do very well. And I have a competing team. Now, there was always that little whisper of, like, if it doesn't work out this year, then he's probably done.
He's probably,
at least as a starter, maybe not in the NFL, but as a starter.
Yeah.
Or he'll get some contract somewhere, and then a starter will get hurt and he'll show up for a couple games and we'll be like, oh my God, it's Justin Fields again. And then, that'll be that. And it's going to be like a kind of like a Andy Dalton type situation.
Look at him.
It's like, look at him go. Because what was it last season with the Panthers? He had like 3 games where everyone was like, oh, he's actually moving the offense. And then by the 4th and 5th game, it fizzled out pretty fast. And I feel like that if it doesn't work out with Fields with the Jets, that's probably going to be where he goes. He'll just be the backup that is like, yeah, oh, look at him run. Wow, look at that. He ran in for a touchdown. Awesome. And then...
yeah, it almost gives me Tyrod Taylor vibes.
Yeah.
I think he's better than Tyrod Taylor, but yeah.
I think so too. Yeah.
I guess, Justin Fields in 3 years will be giving Tyrod Taylor.
Well, I like him, so I hope that he doesn't, but he's also no longer on my team anymore, so if he doesn't, not sad.
You root from afar.
Yeah, I'll root from afar.
So I went through and kind of graded everybody, and I'm really only seeing like 3 or 4 players that I would have been happy with out of this first round.
Jamar
Chase. I'd be happy with Trevor Lawrence because he's at least held his value.
I agree.
So like I'm not upset having Trevor Lawrence. I mean, he's still what, like 26 or something like that?
Yeah.
Najee Harris.
Yeah. I was going to say, I don't consider Trevor Lawrence a bust by any stretch of imagination.
No, yeah.
Maybe not worth the 1-1 looking back on it, but not a bust by any means.
Right, exactly. I feel that way about Najee Harris too. He's been a fine running back up until like this season when he lost an eye.
Yep.
So I feel comfortable drafting him. Obviously, you would have wanted Jamar Chase, but I mean, for getting a stable running back, that's important. And then Devonta Smith is a hit.
Yep.
Everybody else I'm kind of neutral on or is a clear bust.
Yeah, pretty much. I think Travis Etienne had one.
Yeah, he had a top 5 finish, so you're okay with that, but that's it. Because he tore his ACL year 1. Year 2, he was fine, if I recall.
I think he was because RB3 or something like that in the league, if I'm not mistaken. I'd have to look.
I know one season he had that for sure. I thought that was his 3rd year in the season.
Yeah, 3rd year. I'm sorry. It was
3rd year?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then last year he sucked.
Yeah, I don't know what that was about.
Yeah, so like you're up and down with him. Right, exactly. So you're up and down with him. You don't know what you're going to get from him. So like I'm more or less neutral on him.
I think he could do some things this year. I hope he does. I'm a Jags fan. I
wanted him to get traded.
To who? Who would you want him to be traded to?
Don't care. Just get him out of there so that we can see Tank Bigsby and Bishal Tootin take the reins. Because right now we got 3 running backs. That's useless for fantasy football.
You got to take a shot and hope it works out.
You got to take a shot. Yeah, 100%. And all 3 of them might get use, and then all 3 of them are useless.
I would consider taking a shot on Travis Etienne, though.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's the Jaguars fan in me, but I would consider it.
Yeah, I don't hate him. But yeah, overall, I think it is pretty disappointing round 1. Looking back now, 5 years later.
It seemingly is one of the stronger, like really strong players came out of it, but none of them were really in the first round, which is kind of interesting.
Of the 2021?
Yes.
Are you teasing round 2?
Yep. That's a good little segue into round 2.
Segue into round 2. All right. Starting with round 2. I'm really curious who you think on round 2 here, Brian. Round 2, Adrian with Michael Carter, Greg with Mac Jones, Matt with Rashad Bateman, Corey with Pat Fryermuth, Bo with Rondell Moore, Greg with Elijah Moore, Rob with Chuba Hubbard, Cam with Terrace Marshall, Greg with Amon-Ra St. Brown, Greg again with Kenneth Gainwell. I think that was Cam again with Ramondre Stevenson, and then Greg finishing the round with Daimi Brown. So, Brian, talk to me.
So, yeah, there is more trickled out throughout the rest of the draft that I think summarized the statement I was making.
Okay, gotcha.
As in, like, in a normal situation, you'd see a lot of these guys going just straight back to back to back in the first round. They were more so trickled throughout almost every round of this year's draft. Obviously, St. Brown being that far into the second round and being picked is insane to look back on.
Yeah, it's a really good value.
But I mean, like, from my memory, he wasn't exactly like the hot shot guy.
No, he was
Ladd
a fifth-round pick.
Was he a 5th round pick?
Yeah, he was a 5th round pick.
That's his whole like story, right? He memorized all the players.
Exactly.
I didn't know he was 5.
So in fantasy and real life, he was counted out.
Yep. I truly think that Ladd McConkey only got the love that he got as a slot receiver because of Amon-Ra St. Brown. Because Amon-Ra St. Brown showed you that you could be a top 3 receiver consistently as a slot guy, it gave hope that Ladd McConkey's more talented as a prospect, coming out of the draft. Can he repeat what Amon-Ra St. Brown did? I think he can.
Yeah, I think
we'll get to Ladd later, but I think he can. But yeah, Amon-Ra St. Brown is absolutely amazing. He's one of my favorite players in the NFL. So I'm very upset that Greg won't trade him to me.
I mean, super good value. I think Greg has potential to compete this year. So if he feels like he can too, I probably wouldn't trade him neither.
Yeah, but I want him.
Oh, that's too damn bad.
Oh, that's too damn bad. Yeah, second round for me was, as usual, mostly busts. There's diamonds in the rough there, but you've got a 30% chance at hitting.
Yeah. And and a lot of them are kind of like the mid, like playable but not excited. Like Fryermuth has always been technically a playable, especially in the early years. He was a little bit better.
Right.
But that's not like you don't feel terrible about having him on your roster. Same thing with, up until recent years with Stevenson. Like, Ramondre was a guy to have for a while. Yep. I think the second round for me personally, looking back at it, especially it not being within my power, it is frustrating to see Terrace Marshall go right before Amon-Ra St. Brown. I'm sure Cam didn't have an ability to see into the future and see what he could be, but seeing that, that's frustrating.
It sure is.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I'll also call out Chuba here. Chuba Hubbard. I've been a fan of his since this draft. Rob made a foolish mistake by trading him away, and he traded him to Bo, of all people. I've scolded Rob for that trade privately, so I'll do it publicly. Shame, shame, shame.
It's always funny, too. Whenever someone makes a trade, you're like, oh, I would have traded more for him. Or I would have done more for that. Or I would have done... And it's always funny seeing that consistently happen. Most of the time when I make trades, I'm not even the person to initiate the trade. I'm not looking to make the trade. It just kind of falls into my lap.
And that's why I go fishing all the time. Because you never know what you're going to get. You never know what mood you're going to catch me in on valuations. And if I toss you a trade out there, you're like, the fuck? Sure. Like, I genuinely go through trades and I'm trying to make it make sense for both sides. So when I send trades out, it's not so much that I'm like, oh, I think that this is a no-brainer. but there's some sense to it, and who knows who values who. You could value Justin Fields more than you valued Jalen Hurts, and then 2 years later, you're like, well, that was dumb.
Yeah.
So it's also one of those things where we don't know shit about fuck.
It's a crapshoot sometimes. Like fantasy football, like you can do all the that's the thing about fantasy football. Like you can do all the research, know your player inside and out, know what they ate for breakfast or what they ate for dinner, and half the time it's still going to be a game of luck.
Yep.
So you kind of need that luck on your side in order to make it so far. It's just Bo's been really lucky. He's not good. He just got lucky.
Sacrifices. I know he's making sacrifices. Like baby goats or something in his backyard.
Yeah, goats shiver when they see Bo come around.
Mm-hmm. Specifically black Billy goats. Yeah, goats are because of him. That's funny. All right, anybody else in round 2 you guys want to call out?
Freiermuth has been solid. Yeah, I mean,
I like
Chuba's
that.
Great. Yeah. Ramen Ra, great. Ramondre, good so far. Yeah.
Pour one out for Mac Jones.
I was about to say, Mac Jones Island there is in my archive of mistakes down the line. So seeing him here in the second round this second round for me, it's hard to look at.
That was just who we all thought was going to be good back then. So I'm curious to see how the draft we just did, 2025, eventually plays out 3 years down the line.
Yeah.
Like, who were we way wrong about, or who did this draft completely change the trajectory for?
I already got a running back in prison, so,
Yeah, that's crazy.
He's not in prison yet.
Hold on. Nah, we'll get to
we'll get to that.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Teaser.
Yeah, we'll get to that. Teaser for 25. Stay tuned. All right. Rounds 3 through 5. I am not going to name all of these players. I have 4 that I'm going to call out.
Nico.
So, Nico Collins, obvious steal. It took a while.
Mm-hmm.
So I think, you now call him a steal. But if we had done this review in 2024, prior to the season, you wouldn't have been drafting Nico Collins.
Yeah, true.
He was a trade toss in.
Yeah, true. So, for sure.
So now looking back, he's an obvious stud, but it took a while. Lesson learned of hold on to your guys if you believe in them. Give them time to develop on that taxi squad, or trade them to Mark so he can develop them on the taxi squad.
No, Mark.
Or Bo.
So another one that I'll call out that's a little bit lesser was in the 5th round, Elijah Mitchell. I'm only calling this out because when CMC went down, he was a pretty steady and stable running back too. So he really had value for somebody you got in the 5th round, and that just never happens. So that's a takeaway for me of take your shots on those late round running backs because you just never know what's going to happen with them, especially with the amount of injuries you have at that position.
Mm-hmm. And to this day, that first year with Mitchell is the reason why he's still on the roster.
Yep, for sure.
I'm like, if that leg feels good, why not?
Yeah,
that could be great. I saw what was possible.
Another person I'll call out is Adrian taking Micah Parsons at the 301. That was the first IDP player off the board. And obviously still a stud, assuming Jerry Jones gets the fuck out of his own way.
Yeah.
That's really hard for him to do.
It's real hard for him to do. I got one more, but Brian, I'll let you shout him out if you want to.
You have one more in here?
Yeah, trying to look 506.
506. Oh, that's my boy. Hey, that's my boy Trey Nixon, 5'6". I remember when Greg told me, he was like, hey, I just drafted your friend. For those who don't know, Trey Nixon was drafted by the New England Patriots. He's a buddy of mine. We grew up together, and him getting drafted by favorite team, Patriots, was a pretty awesome moment for him. He didn't end up working out in the NFL. He had some moments, but, he could still, he made it. He, hung around the practice squad, got a lot of likes from the guys, but, he had some injury issues and, the wheel kept turning. So, but yeah, that's funny seeing him in this one.
I think I drafted him actually, not Greg.
Oh?
Yeah. Was it Greg or was it me?
It says Greg.
Yeah, it says Greg.
It says Greg? Okay,
Yep.
so it was Greg. So Greg sniped him from me. Yeah. I drafted him in a couple of spots in Dynasty League. I was like, I know he's not going to work out, but it's cool to have him on my team.
There was a chance because he did light it up at UCF. And,
yeah, he was great.
And that was one of those things where it was like, okay, like if you just kind of are there, which you are there, you might work it out. But, injuries are injuries. It's tough to make it and be, what is that saying about availability? And NFL is everything. And so
for sure.
if you're just not there because you're hurt, then someone's going to replace you.
Yep. You guys got anybody you want to call out on the later rounds?
I was looking. There's not really. No, not really.
Trey McKitty. I would have drafted just off a name.
That is a sick name.
It's a sick name.
But no.
All right.
No.
I know you're looking at Tommy Tremble.
I did. Make him on.
We'll take a quick break here, and then we'll dive into 2022.
I bet.
All right, everybody, welcome back in. Thanks so much for giving us a break. Again, we'll probably take a couple. We are going to dive into the 2022 draft. We'll start with round one, obviously. We'll go with Matt at Breece Hall, Adrian with Ken Walker, Rob with Kenny Pickett, Rob with Malik Willis, Corey with Drake London, Matt with Treylon Burks, Brian with Chris Olave, Mark with Garrett Wilson, Brian with James Cook, Brian with Christian Watson, Bo with Jameson Williams, and Bo with Sky Moore. Lots in there. Brian, you got a couple picks in there. You want to hop in, go first?
Yeah, so this was my first year in the league. I don't fully remember the trades and such that I made to acquire a couple of these picks, but I think one of them did include me moving. I think I moved Tyreek Hill to get at least one of those.
I'll look him up. I'll see if I can find him on the fly.
Yeah, I remember it was one of, I got into the league and was drowned in trade offers and took a couple of them.
I think Tyreek Hill was involved?
I do believe so.
Okay.
I think he was one of those guys that I remember being on the team and was like, man, I can't believe I traded him away for Christian Watson. But yeah.
First round could be anybody.
First round could be anybody. Yeah, those two picks. I mean, James Cook, I ran with for a very long time. James Cook has always been kind of one of those, like, my guys. Like, I try to get him. I got him in the other Dynasty League. If it's a redraft, I'm trying to get him. I really, really like James Cook. Christian Watson, I wanted to really have him work out, and he had some sparks of it working out. But I think he is kind of one of those sad stories we talked about before where you get hurt too many times and you will get replaced. And I feel like the replacement process is starting to happen to him. But at the time, I was hoping for high things. And really when you look afterwards, it was pretty good spots for those picks at the time. But yeah, what a loaded first round. And I mean, I feel like we can kind of jump into Rob with these two quarterback very special boys.
Oh my God.
What a Malik Willis.
What a poor guy.
Before Drake London, before Garrett Wilson, even James Cook.
Do you guys feel like secondhand embarrassment for him? Like I kind of
that's pretty bad.
There's a part of me that even remembers that draft and him picking those two guys, and I feel like I remember him putting in the chat being like, "Hey, I need a quarterback." And,
he got
just for the results that came down for that.
Yep.
I mean,
got news for you. You still need a quarterback.
Unfortunately, Malik Willis did not work out. Kenny Pickett is the dream. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not great.
Yeah, I mean, at least with probably not, but at least with Kenny Pickett, you can say, "Oh, he's 27 and maybe he'll start."
Yeah,
maybe.
I mean, even the situation in Cleveland right now is like, it's if you pick Kenny Pickett, you've basically had an entire career with him of like, maybe it could work out.
Right.
Yeah, pretty much. Exactly that. It was all potential. Like, oh, he could still be. He could.
Even this late into the career, it's like, hey, maybe. I also just feel like Baker Mayfield kind of ruined every like perspective on a quarterback. Like, 27-year-old quarterback that hasn't had a great career. And if they go somewhere new, we all look at him and we're like, well, maybe it was just a bad spot that he was at. Maybe this team will make him really good.
Exactly. Just reinforce
the problem with doing that is that Baker had an otherworldly rookie season. So that's why his expectations were sky high and then plummeted because it was like, dude, what the fuck happened?
Yeah.
Then he got to Tampa and you're like, oh, dude can actually ball.
Right.
Got it.
Well, even, with the infamous game with the Rams where it's like, okay, hey, look, there he is. Right. So I feel like that's what people are always waiting to see, especially like with Kenny Pickett, where he's had some times where he's jumped in and it's been like, damn, son, that's pretty good.
Well, and sometimes it just takes the right coach and the right scheme.
Right. I mean, even just imagine if some weird world Kenny Pickett's going to the Vikings and we would all be sitting there being like, yeah.
Instead of Sam Darnold, you mean?
Right. It's just like, Coach O'Connell can probably just take anybody and make them good and rip out any potential they have. So, yeah, it's all down to coaching, really, and systems and opportunity and not getting hurt.
Yeah, for sure. That's a big one.
Which Kenny Pickett is currently hurt. So,
yep, there is.
Maybe.
Yeah, obviously, I want to talk about Breece Hall for a second. You guys count him as a hit or a bust?
I would count him.
Hall.
I would say he's a hit. I mean, maybe like for the value, for the pick that he was taken, I guess you could consider that a little bit high, but I wouldn't consider him a bust. I think that would be a little too far for what he's done.
I think it's even a conversation to have it like, because it's adjacent to Ken Walker. And I feel like you can kind of have the same conversation there. That's two guys that have shown sparks and have been really good. Then like you kind of sit there and you're like, is that a bust? Like, kind of.
I would
also like when it hits, it hits.
Exactly. I would consider Ken Walker more of a bust than Breece Hall.
Let's see.
I would love to see that side by side because
let's see.
I almost wouldn't be surprised if it's dead even.
Okay. So Ken Walker has finished as RB in half PPR. RB 16, 19, 28.
All right.
Okay.
Not
Breece
bad.
Hall. Stupid sleeper.
Sleeper.
God, it's the worst.
At
least it's free. Breece Hall finished 43rd.
Yikes.
He got injured. 4th.
Oh, wow.
And 17th.
Yeah. So that
really no rookie year because of injury. Came back with a vengeance and got you a championship quality season.
Mm-hmm.
And then last year piddled out and kind of finished as a middling running back too.
And I think something of note as well is that both are being hunted by another younger running back. In the position with Traylon Allen and Zach Charbonnet.
Yeah. True.
Yeah, that's an interesting one too. It really is just kind of like a toss up on either 50 players. You're either going to be great or I'm going to be frustrated and I'm going to feel like, I missed.
Yeah, I mean, if I would go back and do it again, I probably would take Breece over Walker just because he had that number 4 year. Like I would take that upside because I know that he would be able to do that. Like he's done it before, he could do it again. Ken Walker has not made it that far yet.
He has done it before, so he might be able to do it again.
Yeah, will he? Different question. But
Ken Walker is going to do that in 2025.
You think so?
Top five finish for Ken Walker this season.
Top 5 finish.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm out.
I don't agree. I don't
If
agree.
he stays healthy, the dude can run. The
I
dude
think
can
the
catch.
healthy part.
The dude can block.
The healthy
So
part.
if he stays healthy. But why is that not possible?
Because he has been notably unhealthy. Year after year.
Is that the case for a fact, or has he only missed a couple of games and we just assign him as an unhealthy wide running back because he's missed a couple of games every season? When in reality, every running back usually misses a couple of games a season.
And I don't have the numbers in front of me.
I do.
Okay.
I just pulled them up.
Okay.
15, 15, 11.
Who was that?
That's Ken Walker.
Ken Walker.
So he played 15 games his rookie season, sophomore season. So that's missing 1 game his rookie season because it was still 16-game season back then. 2 games his sophomore season. And 6 games last year.
It might just be the 6 games last year that really resonates in my head. But I also I feel like there were times where like he had gone into games kind of like the classic coach speak thing where like, yeah, he's good to go, then doesn't actually play. But even that, I think it might just be last season 6 games that really resonates.
It definitely could. He almost was at the same level of points, even though he missed 6 games relative to his first 2 years. So he would have surpassed what he had done his first 2 years had he had a healthy season. But he wasn't, so it didn't happen.
But he wasn't. And if that's going to... Again, there's always the if.
For sure.
But yeah, I guess even like you had even listed the rankings for him in his career. It is hard to see the jump from that to 5.
With an additional 3 games under his belt?
Even with that, yeah.
Because that's an additional...
Because you think about also the
40 to 60 points.
The league in this year. You've got Genty. I know you don't believe, but it's a possibility.
No, I believe.
I was going to say RJ Harvey.
Oh, RJ Harvey? No, I don't believe.
Possibility. No, but even so that, so you say Genty, you say, name the top 5 right now. I feel like Genty.
Bijan, Gibbs.
Yep.
Genty, Saquon.
You think Walker fits there?
No,
but he can.
I guess he can. I guess anyone can.
You're telling me he can't average 18 points a game?
18 points a game? I don't think so.
Huh?
I'd be down to water bet.
We can water bet.
Because that, I really don't see it.
If he plays 17 games,
here too,
top 5.
I have bought into Zach Charbonnet, and I feel like they are inclined that if Ken has any kind of like deviation, then they're going to ship.
If Ken gets hurt.
Right. And I feel like it's going to be one of those things where if he's gone even for a game, they're going to say, it's okay.
You're done.
This is the last year of your contract. Like, you're going to see a little bit more of, and maybe it is just recency bias, but the shift over from Bucky and Rachaad White, I feel like is something that needs to be brought up note to many teams where if someone's going to outperform, then they're going to outperform.
But you're talking about a very mediocre running back in Rachaad White.
He wasn't.
No, he was.
Are we?
Look at his numbers.
I'm going to look at his numbers.
He barely averaged 4 yards a carry if he reached that.
Ooh, 2023, he in PPR leagues, he was number 4. Rachaad White.
In PPR leagues, yeah, absolutely. Dude can catch a ball. In that year, how many catches did he have?
Let me see. 64 receptions.
64 receptions. So that's like a wide receiver 2 number. So outlier of a season. And that's an absurd amount of volume. How many yards did he get with 64 catches?
549 yards.
So less than 10 yards a catch is pretty garbage.
3 touchdowns.
And only 3 touchdowns through the air. Pretty garbage. How many on the ground?
He had 6 tutties on the ground.
So,
and he had 990 yards. So he missed 1,000 yards rushing that year.
Missed 1,000 yards. So very mediocre at best.
But as a running back, we can say that. But as a fantasy running back, he was still running back number 4.
Yeah.
Right. But that only works if your running back that you're usurping is bad. That's why Jacksonville's wide open.
Oh, well,
because
Jacksonville is the epitome.
Everybody could be real bad, right?
Right.
Or somebody's going to shine and just take the fucking job.
Right.
Right? Chase Brown rose to the top because we were fighting with Zach Moss and a nameless bunch of fucks.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, that's why I drafted him. I traded him, but I drafted him because I'm like, okay, if he's talented enough to beat Zach Moss, which isn't hard to do, he can take the starting job from him midway through the season. Bucky Irving is 10 times the running back Rachaad White is. Zach Charbonnet is not 10 times the running back Ken Walker is. Ken Walker is extraordinarily talented. And if he stays healthy, we'll prove that. And he can do it all.
Yeah, he is extraordinarily talented. I will not disagree by any stretch of the imagination.
So even if you did that as a split, right? Even if you did like a 60-40 split where you're still getting Sharp work because he's really good in short yardage work. So you're still getting Charbonnet his due, especially at the red zone. But Ken Walker's the type that busts off a 40-yard run, a 60-yard run. And those make your week.
Yeah, I mean, he has potential, sure. Yeah. But until I see it on a regularly consistent basis, I'm just out on Ken Walker. I'm not.
So we'll move on, but I will leave you with this. If you're out on Ken Walker, you should also be out on Breece Hall.
Yeah, I'm not in on Breece Hall either.
I would agree on that because I feel like they are quite literally the same player in the same positions, same situations, except for Breece having a year up on results.
1 year, with the result.
Yeah, but it's the same situation.
I might even think about being less on Breece Hall than Kenneth Walker, and the reason I say that might be a hot take. The reason I say that is Aaron Glenn, the coach, was like, yeah, we are doing a running back by committee this year.
Yeah.
So with Kenneth Walker, there's still the possibility he could be the RB1 far and away. With Breece Hall, you already know going into the season, like it's just not going to be what it was.
Oh yeah, the stuff coming out from camp has been rough. If you're a Breece Hall believer with him, he's talking about how he's very aware that he's not their guy. And that they didn't draft him, and so he has to prove himself. They have been talking about how it's more likely for there to be an even split with Braylon Allen. Braylon Allen's great. Look at him, he's so great. They haven't said anything about Breece. It's just, I mean, obviously training camp talk, but it's looking like it's going to be a rough one for Breece Hall this year.
For sure. All right, gentlemen, we will move on to round number 2 unless you guys have any objections.
Nope.
No, I just want to shout out my pick, Drake London, 1.5. Great pick.
It was a great pick. I really like Drake London.
And I do really like the James Cook pick. I think that worked out really well for you.
Yeah. Yep. That worked out. And it's sad to see Chris Olave not really work out down the line. It could have been great, but
it can still happen. Dude just has his bell rung one too many times.
Yeah.
Oh, actually,
one too many bad quarterbacks throwing him on suicide.
Yeah.
I will actually do one shout out, and that is Treylon Burks in between Drake London and Chris Olave and Garrett Wilson.
Yeah.
What a bummer.
Yeah. What a bum.
I wouldn't call him a bum. I'm just saying.
I would call him a bum. Not Matt. Treylon.
Yeah. Yeah, that was
round number 2.
Not one of my favorite picks, but we move on.
Yeah, round number 2. So we've got my favorite person, the one that got away, Greg with Trey McBride.
Great.
Adrian then with Isaiah Spiller, Rob with George Pickens, Alex with Rachaad White, Corey with Jahan Dotson, Greg with Damian Pierce, Brian with Kayvon. Thibodeau, Ryan with Devin Lloyd, Coulter with Jalen Tolbert, Coulter again with Desmond Ritter, Brian with Alec Pierce, and Greg with John Mechie. So I'll just jump in. Trey McBride. I absolutely loved Trey McBride. I traded for Trey McBride almost immediately from Greg because I really just wanted him. And then he just fucking did nothing for 3 seasons or 2 seasons. And then it was Zach Ertz, a fucking again signing with Arizona. So I traded him for Raheem Mostert, who was averaging 20 points a game that season and was blowing the fuck up. And then 2 weeks later, Zach Ertz got hurt. And Trey McBride became Trey McBride.
I think it's because you just trade too much. Have you ever thought about just like not trading?
I held on to that guy for 2 seasons.
Have you thought about 3 seasons?
That's why there's a taxi squad for 2 seasons. You hold him there.
His time was running out. Dog, I waited as long as I could for right.
How do you feel about it now?
Terrible.
I'm sorry.
I would have felt better if I won that year. I got close.
That's true.
But no cigar.
You've been very close. You have consistently had probably one of the better teams, if not the best team. It just hasn't quite worked out.
Hasn't worked out. Such is life.
Such is life, man.
Gotta sacrifice more goats.
Sacrifice more goats. I love this fact that Rob drafted George Pickens with the 3rd pick in the 2nd round. And then what did he just trade for George Pickens? Because didn't he just trade for George Pickens again? Am I misremembering that?
It looks like, I don't know. I'm looking at the George Pickens history, trade history. It said he got traded in 2022 to you, and you gave up Guyton, Matt Corral, and a 2nd rounder.
What a great trade.
What a good trade. Pat yourself on the back.
Round of applause. All right, let's take a look. Yeah, okay. So the round for George Pickens, Rob drafts him 203, then trades for another 2nd round pick and 2 losers. He then gets packaged with Kyler Murray, and I assume that's Brian Robinson, and a 3rd for, Brian Robinson for Breece Hall and a 1st. And then he was part of the Josh Allen trade last year when Anthony shipped off Josh Allen for George Pickens. And then Rob paid a 1st, your 1st in 2026, Brian, for George Pickens. So that should be a mid to late, some would argue mid to early, depending on how the cards fall, instead of just holding on to him for a 2nd round pick. So you want to talk about trading too much? That's trading yourself into a losing trade. That's paying commissions twice, and now you're behind twice.
Do you think he even remembers drafting George Pickens?
Now he does.
The
world knows now.
The world knows now. All right, that's all I have to say about round 2. I'll let you guys speak for the rest of it.
Well, I mean, at least from my point of view here, the Thibodeau pick, rough. I was not acknowledged.
Yeah.
You live and you learn.
Not acknowledged. You live and you learn. This was a learning draft for sure.
Yeah, I mean,
that said,
I would probably
everybody after you sucked.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would probably never take a defensive player that high, but yeah.
Now, like I said, everybody after you sucked, so it really wasn't that big of a deal. But yeah, generally speaking, you let IDP slip just a touch further.
And I think it was literally because I was watching the draft and I saw him get drafted and I said, yeah, that guy's going to be pretty good.
Yeah. Well, sometimes it does work out with those guys because Corey's got Hutch and Hutch is a G.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. And I got Kyle Hamilton 2 picks later. Now, there's a person in between those two who I probably should have taken, but we'll talk about that in a sec. But then you have Ryan, who took Devin Lloyd right behind Brian, literally the pick after, another defensive player. I don't know how well he's done.
Pretty well, I believe.
Who?
Devin Lloyd.
Yeah, he's good. Middle of the pack.
Yeah. It's also Ryan. Of course, he's going to pick.
Yeah,
it's Ryan.
He would take a defensive player with 1.1 with the first overall pick if he could.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean,
he would have taken Travis this year if he had the 101. I guarantee it.
Oh,
he would have bypassed Ashton. Yeah, he would have bypassed Ashton and said, "Nah, I'm going to take Travis Hunter."
You mean a defensive and offensive player, dude? I can't.
Oh my god.
I think a player here that is kind of going under the radar, but almost not even because of performance, but just in impact. Damian Pierce here. Turned into quite the.
He was a solid starter for a couple of years.
Yeah.
Just one.
Just one.
Yeah, just 1 year. But
and then Greg made a fantastic trade.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have that trade up?
Who did he trade him for?
Yeah, it's just a 1-for-1. Damian Pierce for Derrick Henry. No extra sauce. Just straight up.
So for some reason it's not popping up on my app real quick, but who did he make that trade with? I'm trying to see.
Anthony wanted in on the spice. And yeah, it did not work out.
Well, it was also, when was that trade? What year was that trade?
That was in 2023.
Okay, so that was 2 seasons ago. So remember, Derrick Henry at that point was hitting 28 years old, which is like, historically speaking, the time where you start to see running backs tail off.
It is.
So in Anthony's defense, I think the thought process was, all right, I'm going to re-roll this into a new stud. And then Damian Pierce just fizzled out.
Yeah.
And it's funny, I'm looking at the numbers here. We say Damian Pierce had one really good season. He had one really good quarter of the season.
Oh, really?
It wasn't I remembered it being a lot better, and I don't know if the stats are, because I
remember it being a lot better.
I remember it being great, but it's not so much. Just finishing here in 2022, half PPR ranked 28. Only finishing the season with 4 touchdowns, rushing, 1 receiving, just shy of 1,000 yards rushing.
I wonder if that
game score,
But that was only in 13 games.
That was.
So he finished as a high-end running back 3 in 13 games and 61 yards shy of 1,000 in 13 games.
So quite literally an explosion of performance, and that's where all the hype was around.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, and you are right. I mean, Derrick Henry was supposed to be done by now, and he's just never gonna.
Still going strong,
and he's just fucking.
It's funny to look back at now, but I'm sure in the moment made a lot of sense.
Yeah. Yeah, I vaguely remember talking to Greg about that trade and going back and forth with him on it about whether it was smart to do or not. And I was I remember being I mean, if I can get Derrick Henry, I'm getting Derrick Henry.
Right.
Yeah.
I understand he might be out of the league in 2 seasons, but he's Derrick Henry.
I want those 2 seasons.
It worked out, yeah. It worked out.
It worked out. Greg got pretty close. And it obviously worked out because Pierce sunk, so. All right, we'll jump to round 3 through 5 here. Anybody you guys want to call out there?
I think there's there's a couple, I won't say quite a few, but there's a couple players in the 3rd round that.
Yeah, 3rd round was good.
I'm pretty high on. Brian Robinson by you, Mark. It looks like at the 3-1. I thought that was turned out to be a great pick.
Yeah.
And then obviously I love my Aiden Hutchinson pick. Kyron.
Yep.
Kyron, I think, is the biggest steal right here in
Yeah.
this particular draft.
Yeah, for sure. I agree with you. We haven't been doing a very good job of nominating our award picks. So if you guys have those written down, maybe we'll just go over those at the end.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, I agree with you. Kyron is pretty much the clear winner on this particular draft for the steal of the draft.
Yeah, that was definitely for every Tyquan Thornton that I draft, I draft a Kyron Williams.
I mean, to get that at the 3-7, that's phenomenal, though. Absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah.
Tyler Algier as well. Like that's
yeah.
See, I went from drafting Kyron Williams to then a couple picks later drafting Sauce Gardner. So, yeah.
Hey, with the increase in interceptions, though, he might end up. I don't know if you still have him on your team. But
I do not have him. I dropped him before the rule change. Actually,
I don't think he gets a lot of interceptions, anyways, because people don't throw his way.
And I will say, Sam Howell, who I took at the end of the third round, he ended up starting an entire NFL season, and he was QB 12.
Yeah, there was a time.
He was airing it out for sure.
So he, like, as a third round pick, 312, like, that's kind of exactly what you asked for in one of those late quarterbacks, like 1 year starting, and he did pretty damn well, if you don't mind me asking.
No, I mean, there was a time where I was trying to go for him because I was like, this guy's kind of got the stuff.
I thought he did. I thought he had the stuff too. I thought he had the potential to be a starter in the league. It didn't work out, but
it feels strange that he hasn't been given the same opportunities that a lot of quarterbacks have been given that are lower end.
Yeah.
I think the issue here is that he was a good fantasy producer, but if you go and look, it's very similar to like a Jameis Winston. We throw 4 touchdowns, but we've also thrown 5 interceptions.
Sure.
So we've lost the game by 3 touchdowns because you threw 2 pick sixes.
Yeah.
And the difference is I think but your fantasy stats look good because you also just fucking aired it out for 3 quarters because you had to.
Yeah.
So I think there's a little bit of that going on. And I think the difference between those 2 players in particular was Winston was obviously a highly touted prospect. Sam Howell wasn't.
Yeah, and I mean, Sam Howell, he's on what, Minnesota now?
I believe so.
I thought he was with the Seahawks.
He was.
I don't know if that. Okay.
He was with the Seahawks, but they traded him. I'm pretty sure he's on the Vikings.
So if something happens to JJ McCarthy, he might be someone to keep an eye on because I think he'll be airing it out again.
Right.
Yeah.
The JJ.
Yeah, if something happens to JJ McCarthy, yeah.
No, I'm saying he'll air it out.
The other JJ.
The JJ.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. So it's JJ to JJ.
Yep.
JJ to JJ.
Hot damn.
I'll also call out in the 5th round Isaiah Pacheco. Adrian grabbing him, and dude runs angry. I think he's still going to have value this season.
Here's a guy.
But, I mean, outside of Kyron, I think he would be a good nominee for steal of the draft as well, just because you got real quality from the 5th round.
Yeah.
5th rounds are tossaways. We trade backup quarterbacks for 5th round picks.
Yeah.
That honestly might be just because of the 5th round. I mean, there's maybe a little bit of an argument of the fact that Kyron has a lot more to show.
Yeah. Kyron's a much better player.
Yeah. But just for the 5th, I mean, you look at everyone in the 5th round and, there's Calvin Austin, not really.
The only other people would be Jake Ferguson and Kate.
Yeah.
Those are the only other 2 people in the 5th.
Yeah, and tight ends are a crapshoot. And again, that's taken them a few seasons because that's what tight ends do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Unless you're Kyle Pitts and you do the exact opposite.
Yeah. You shine out and then you suck. That's going to happen to Brock Bowers unless you trade him to me, Anthony.
Uh-oh.
I don't think Brock Bowers will have as good of a year this year.
Maybe you heard it here first.
Maybe a hot take. I don't know. We'll see.
All right. I hope.
All right. with that tease, we'll take a break. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back in. Thanks again for letting us take that break. We are jumping into my favorite year of all of these drafts in 2023. 2024 is close, but 2023 holds my heart. With the 101, me taking my love. Now he says he wants to be called Bajan, apparently.
Yeah,
not
right.
Bijan. It's got to be Bajan. Bajan Robinson. 102 and the 103 were Anthony taking Jahmyr Gibbs and Anthony Richardson in the most famous trade of all time in this league. This was the Justin Jefferson trade, boys. Jahmyr Gibbs and Anthony Richardson are the result of trading away Justin Jefferson.
It half worked out.
He traded away Jahmyr Gibbs, so it worked out exactly 0. Number 4 was Adrian with Bryce Young. 5, Mark with CJ Stroud. Then Alex with JSN. Matt with Jordan Addison. Anthony with Quentin Johnson. Rob with Dalton Kincaid. Rob with Devon Achane. Matt with Zach Charbonnet. And Anthony with Will Levis. Anthony had himself a draft.
Draft. Oh, man.
Instead of Justin Jefferson, we had Jahmyr Gibbs and Anthony Richardson. And then we drafted Quentin Johnson, who he can't drop, but he can't trade away either because he's useless. And then Will Levis, Brian's boy. What'd you get? What'd you give up for Will Levis?
It's a sad one.
Okay.
It's a bad one.
Okay.
I regret it now, but it was it was Kyron Williams.
Oh, okay. Before or after the season?
After. Or
like Will Levis's rookie season.
Yeah, it was after that. It was before last season that I believe I made the trade.
Okay, yeah, that trade.
I was sitting there wondering and being like, okay, is this going to be one of those things where he kind of pops off for a year and then is going to fizzle out? There was a lot of questions around management on if they even wanted to keep him. He
was a 5th round pick.
They just drafted.
Blake.
Oh, I'm blanking. Yeah, Blake Corum. And so there was a lot of questions there. And I really liked Will Levis at the time. Starting quarterback, had potential. They didn't really have their eyes set on another quarterback at the time. They sounded like they wanted to ride with him, and I liked him. So I figured I would jump ship from a running back that might fizzle out and try to get a quarterback in a league where I did not have any quarterback really going for me.
Makes sense.
So I had to make a jump somewhere. I was coming off the fatigue of Mac Jones, and I needed to make moves. But yeah, this first round from Anthony, half of it is now under my mantle.
Yeah, I mean, it sure is. I mean, your logic is sound there. Where the logic breaks down just a little bit for me is I understand the logic of I need a quarterback. However, we just witnessed a top 8, I think, if my memory serves me correctly, from Kyron. Top 10 for sure from Kyron. And we watched a pretty bad season from Will Levis. So even if you were still a believer in Will Levis,
it's not his fault.
You should have gotten more for Kyron Williams. You could have gotten Will Levis plus for Kyron Williams.
For sure. But there was also a time of trying to make moves and make it get done.
Sure.
And with the value on quarterback in this league in particular, I felt like I had to shoot high and give up a little bit. And I figured, hey, what better time to move on from this running back that might fizzle out than right now when seemingly at the highest.
Yeah.
You know, it could have been another Dameon Pierce situation. That's what it was looking up to be.
Yeah.
And it didn't yet. It has yet to turn into that, which is
still doesn't have a contract.
Still doesn't have, even now. If I still had him, I'd be probably shopping him because it's just a giant question mark all the time.
Yep. Plus, he's very touchdown dependent, which is risky.
Yes, and it's not Will Levis's fault that he failed, and he will do great when he comes back
it's
from
because
the
he puts fucking mayonnaise in his coffee.
What
Not
the
his
fuck?
fault. Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't know that?
Mayonnaise.
He's a fucking weirdo. He puts mayonnaise in his coffee and he eats banana peels.
I think he has
You need a little weird in your quarterback.
I think he has like CTE after like 2 years in the league. Like him and Antonio Brown would just go perfect together.
God. Yeah, Will Love is his character. But anyway, so going back to the draft. So yeah, I'm in love with Bijan Robinson. He still is, I think, the number one running back in Dynasty. Probably the number one running back in redraft as league as well. Jahmyr Gibbs is fantastic. I love Jahmyr Gibbs. Nothing wrong with Jahmyr Gibbs other than the fact that he's in a running back by committee with David Montgomery there stealing carries and touchdowns from him. But he's explosive and looks really, really good. So, I mean, the top two were slam dunks in this draft.
Yeah, they were great picks. First two, Bijan and Jahmyr, for sure. Anthony Richardson, I don't know. But Jahmyr and Bijan, for sure.
Yeah.
Anthony Richardson and Will Levis, just a couple of my guys here.
Yep. It happens. Listen, you got to take shots sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll hit.
Brian, I know that there's somebody else on the board that you are quite in love with if you want to chat about him for a minute.
I mean, well, there's honestly two. One is in a better spot than the other, but JSN.
Yep.
You know, that I'm very happy having him on the team. I think he's going to do great.
How do you feel about Sam Darnold?
I think it can work. I think he can do enough to get it done to like the top guys. I don't think he is going to be terrible to the point where you're just wondering, like, are they ever going to get the ball? There's obviously a fear that it could not work out, and it might have just been the Vikings quarterback system. But I have some faith that at least it'll be, it was almost even this situation from last year where it's like, okay, well, you can still have Justin Jefferson, like the top receiver will get the ball at some point. I hope it works out. It'd be unfortunate to waste that talent. But the other one here that
Here's the thing, though. I think if Sam Darnold doesn't work out, he's going to be on a short leash. I think he's got 1 year to prove it.
Oh, for sure.
I agree.
So,
yeah, for sure.
So I would still bet on the talent of JSN.
Right.
Be damned with the quarterback situation.
Yeah. I feel like even if Sam Darnold does not work out, whatever backup they have or will get will do enough to get it to him. Enough to make it worth it week to week. And then hopefully if both those quarterbacks don't work out, then hopefully they solve that because JSN is so good. But then, yeah, the other one at the tail end here of the first round is Zach Charbonnet. So that's a big one that I really like. Obviously, we talked about it before. I'm buying heavy into that. Yeah, I mean, what a first round, really. The CJ Stroud pick is a little bit of an underrated one there.
That turned into Lamar Jackson.
That's huge.
Yeah.
CJ Stroud and Dak Prescott turned into Lamar Jackson.
Essentially turned to
Was
one
that just
mid-fifth round pick almost, and Dak Prescott for arguably the best fantasy and regular QB in the NFL currently.
Yeah.
That's solid, man.
It looked like a pretty bad trade at the end of last season, or 2 seasons ago, though, when CJ Stroud blew the fuck up and looked like the next coming of Tom Brady. And then last year, kind of, he came back down to earth, and obviously Dak getting hurt, it felt a lot better.
I think usually, if I'm not mistaken, a quarterback that does really, really well their first year usually has a second year hiccup. Now,
and I think a part of that is because the NFL gets more tape on them, so they know how to prep.
And that's why, hot take, I'm watching Jaden Daniels this year.
Oh, yeah.
Because I think he's going to regress. That's my personal opinion.
Bo Nix, too.
Bo Nix, yep. If one of those, if any of those second-year QBs beat the odds, I would be, unless they obviously shit the bed their first year, then...
Yeah, I think you're going to... What's interesting is that I still am a believer of 3 quarterbacks that came out of that draft. I'm not a Bo Nix buyer. That's a hot take. but I really, JJ McCarthy, I'm still in on, I guess. So 4 of them. Because I love Caleb Williams still. I love Drake May still. And I love Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels, I do expect to take a step back. I expect Bo Nix to take a step back. But I expect Caleb and Drake to take a step forward. And you're going to have a balancing act happen on the quarterback values.
Yeah, I see that. I could see that happening for sure. There's not really on that.
Guys, I do have to step away. Someone's at the door.
Okay, no worries. Go ahead, Corey.
I was gonna say, like, the Devon, like, the only other picks that I can see, like, Jordan Addison still has time to be a really good wide receiver opposite Justin Jefferson. But Quentin Johnston, Dalton Kincaid were kind of misses in regards to this first round, along with Will Levis.
Yeah, for sure.
And Anthony Richardson as well. Bryce Young is kind of the opposite. He was counted out, done. No one wanted him, and now he's the next hot thing.
Yeah, he's a weird one for me. Like, I understand that there's a possibility that that the end of the season is the real Bryce Young, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what everybody's buying into and really hoping is happening. I don't think that happens. Unless he's my quarterback 3, I do not feel comfortable having him on my roster.
I can see that. I kind of like how he's going to be. I'm kind of feeling him. You know what I mean?
Okay. You're not alone. A lot of people really like him.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it also could just be the, like, recency bias for draft capital. Like, oh, a first round, like, first overall QB, like, they don't just lose value over, like, even though he's been 3 years. Like, as soon as he started playing well, they were like, oh, this is the guy who we thought value went right back up.
Yeah, for sure. So it'll be interesting to watch him. I've tried to pry him away from Adrian, but Adrian doesn't look at trades. I mean, I'm probably too low on him to get him for real. So, but it's fishing.
Yeah.
So we'll see where the conversations go. Because again, I can see the path. I'm not ignorant to the path existing, but he would represent a quarterback 3 for me. So I feel comfortable having that on my roster.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, if Adrian's trying to compete now and he's realistically needing a second quarterback, then he might want to move on from Bryce Young to upgrade that.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I would be thinking if I was Adrian, if I didn't buy into the Bryce Young hype. And I would just want to stabilize that second quarterback position.
Yeah, but we'll see if he wants to make those trades.
Right.
If he even looks at them, Adrian.
Right, Adrian. He doesn't listen to this podcast. I can assure you of that.
Adrian.
Yeah, Adrian. Yo, Adrian. All right, cool. We'll move on to round number 2. We will go over the picks, and then Brian's not back. We'll take a quick break. So we'll do number 201, Coulter with Zay Flowers. Coulter again with Michael Mayer. Matt with Kendre Miller. Adrian with Rashi Rice. Coulter with Roshan Johnson. Alex with Sam Laporta. Bo with Marvin Mims. Greg with Jonathan Mingo. Anthony with Tank Bigsby. Coulter with Tajay Spears. Matt with Hendon Hooker. And Mark with Chase Brown. I think that this is almost as good, obviously not with top tier talent, but in terms of second round hits, this is almost as good as the first round.
Yeah. It is. Zay Flowers, Rashi. I know a lot of people are high on Rashi. I personally am not.
I know the suspension sucks, but, like, he's talented.
Yeah. I'm not particularly high on Rashi. I feel like Kansas City is a place where they use first round picks or second round picks consistently on wide receivers, and it just doesn't.
They're looking for Tyreek again.
And Laporta, obviously, that one was, of all of the picks in this round, I think Sam Laporta was definitely one of my favorites to go with Chase Brown. Like, those were probably the top 2.
Yeah. And then Tank Bigsby looked like shit year 1, but looked great last year.
He did.
He's even like a pretty good hit for a second rounder.
I do like Tajay Spears to usurp Tony Pollard. I do like that.
Agreed. Yep, agreed.
It's a nice combo of people in that back-to-back of Bigsby and Spears, 2 guys who in this current year are probably going to take over for RB1.
They at least have the opportunity to.
Right.
Yeah,
strong
for sure.
opportunity.
And I feel like those two are perfect examples of once they get it, I don't think they're going to look back.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even the third in that was Chase Brown for a moment.
Mm-hmm.
He was just the first to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And I think Chase Brown's an actual good running back. I don't know if Tank Bixby and Tajay are actually good running backs or if they're going to be good by circumstance. I do think Chase Brown's an actual good running back.
For sure.
I would say, like, if we're ranking those three running backs just by pure running ability or running back ability, like Chase Brown, I love Tajay Spears. I think Tajay Spears
I agree.
has a better opportunity to do what we're saying over Tank Bigsby. So if I had to take a choice between Tank or Tajay, I would take Tajay Spears for sure. But that's just my own personal opinion.
I would agree with your personal opinion.
But I'm also a Jags fan, so, I would be willing to listen on Tank Bigsby.
Anything else to call out there, gents?
Not for the second, no.
Yeah, not for the second. The rest of this draft has some interesting pieces.
Little sugar.
Let's jump in. Go for it.
Little sugar sprinkled all the way throughout.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it really is. There's, third round started off with Josh Downs and Jalen Reed.
Great.
Very interesting pieces.
I like both.
Went down to Tank Dell, which was, the injury was probably one of like the saddest
fucking
fantasy.
Yeah.
Man, poor guy.
It's been a while since
he started out by getting shot too.
Right. Yeah, that's just really unfortunate, but a great pick for that third round. Going into the fourth.
Two more in the third round I'll call out. Will Anderson and Jack Campbell at the IDP spots.
Yep.
You got, especially Jack Campbell's pretty good stud, in my opinion anyways. I mean, Will Anderson's not too far from that status, in my opinion.
Yeah.
For sure.
I know that was when I joined the league and I saw that we had IDPs. I think most people probably do it too, but I was targeting linebackers just because tackles, the amount of tackles they would get. I would rather have that stability than, let's say, they might get a sack or they might not get a sack. So that's what I would always be targeting at that time. And that's why I took Jack Campbell. I traded him, but I took him.
Go ahead, Brian. You said fourth round.
But yeah, the fourth round, not as plentiful, but has two pretty strong ones and one really strong one. But there's Tucker Kraft, who has turned out to be pretty good. Ironically enough, in the third round, Luke Musgrave was drafted. He was set up to be the actual tight end one, and Tucker Kraft took it over. So that was an interesting placement on those two rounds. And then obviously at the end here, Puka Nacua.
Yep.
Great pick.
Yep. And instead of Puka Nacua, I had to pick Xavier Hutchinson.
Hey, he could have been Puka Nacua.
Could have been.
Could have been. Mr.
I'm gonna hit
there, man.
I'm going to hit the rewind a little bit. Corey, can you brag on Tucker Kraft for a little bit? Because I have Tucker Kraft in many, many leagues because I bought into Tucker Kraft real early. I still like him, but in those leagues, I have other tight ends. Mm-hmm. I can't sell Tucker Kraft for shit. Nobody buys into it. Why? Brag on Tucker Kraft real quick. Because he's coming into this season as your tight end 1, tight end 2, right?
Yeah, he's probably closer to my tight end 2. I got David Njoku as my tight end 1.
Njoku, yeah.
Even with their QB situation, I
think you could probably play by week with those two.
Yeah, and Tucker Kraft, I don't know. Some people are really hot. Like he really is I'm not going to say hit or miss, but he is. People are like really in on him or they're just not for him whatsoever. There's no in between. Yeah. And he was a top 10 tight end last year.
Yeah.
His second year in the league. And
he didn't have the whole season to do that.
It's
he played all the games, but he didn't get the majority of the snaps in all of those games until he broke out into the role week 6 or something like that.
Mm-hmm. So he had 700 yards and he had a lot of touchdowns. He had 7 touchdowns.
Yeah.
So I could see that maybe regressing, but
Sure.
and the only reason I say I could see that regressing is also just because they drafted a first round wide receiver, so targets there, obviously. But I think that Tucker Kraft pretty much solidified himself as the tight end one. And who do quarterbacks generally check it down to whenever they need someone to throw it to? Their tight end or their running back. So Tucker Kraft will get those. He'll get his targets. He'll get his yards. He'll get his receptions. I just see his touchdowns going down a little bit. So
I mean, maybe, but who else is going to take touchdowns away from him in the red zone?
if they are in the red zone,
Yeah.
Josh Jacobs.
Who's right? It's
If
going
they
to be
run
Josh
it, yeah.
Jacobs or Tucker Kraft.
yeah.
They don't have big-bodied receivers.
Well, how big is Matthew Golden? Or is he more of a streaky type? Like
I think he's a
player.
streaky slot guy.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
okay.
think he's a streak down the field or a slot guy. I think.
And
I don't know shit
think
about Fuck, but
the other option would be Christian Watson, but there's
Christian
toss up
Watson.
on if Watson would be healthy enough to even be in the red zone with them.
and I don't think he's. I don't think he's going to be healthy for start of the season. That's for sure.
Yeah,
I do like Jaden Reed, but he also is one of the
Yeah.
more not in the red zone, shifty type players, chunk
Yeah.
yards, that kind of thing.
He can score, obviously, but he's not going to be a red zone threat. He's not AJ Brown. He's not 6'4", 250 pounds. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so I mean, in that red zone, Tucker Kraft is going to get his looks. I mean, he's going to get his looks
Yeah.
on the field, but he will especially
Yeah.
get in the red zone.
So I hear what you're saying, but there's a world where he just scores 7, 8 touchdowns again.
I hope so.
Yeah,
I think that he can.
I'm a buyer. I'm a believer of Tucker Kraft. I don't want him from you because, like I said, I have him everywhere else to play. But
Yeah, I think he'll I mean, he's the clear tight end one now. Like when he was
yeah,
drafted,
oh yeah,
the first 2 years, you could conceivably argue that they drafted Luke Musgrave in a higher round. It's still a toss up between the two, but I think Tucker Kraft solidified himself as the tight end one.
yeah, absolutely.
So they have a really good passing offense, in my personal opinion, in Green Bay, and they're going to be looking for someone. They're going to be looking at Tucker Kraft.
Anybody else that you guys want to speak on, or should we move on and just roll through to 2024?
I'll touch on one more person, and it's also one of my own people because I love my drafts so much. In the 5th round, I got Brenton Strange.
Yeah,
Now
I
that-
almost wrote him down.
Now that Evan Ingram is traded, the coaches said
Yeah.
Brenton Strange is tight end one. So
Yeah. So I almost wrote him down as well. It's just all 100% potential right now, right?
is
You haven't
100%.
seen anything. So, there's nothing to brag about other than, you could theoretically flip him for much higher than a 5th round pick right now.
yeah,
So, theoretically, he's a hit just on value alone. But we haven't seen it yet. But I do like Brenton Strange.
I'm curious to see where he goes with it. I'm excited for it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, because Trevor Lawrence leaned on Evan Ingram a lot. So you have to figure that that's just going to continue.
Mm-hmm. Oh, for sure. 100%.
So yeah, I agree with you. That's an interesting one to keep an eye on. You're the only person in the league that literally when Evan Ingram got traded, I was like, all right, let me go see who has Brenton Strange. And then I saw that it was Corey and I was like, fuck. Because I know Corey's going to know Jacksonville Jaguars players and knows not to trade that player to me.
Yep. Not right now.
Right. You got to wait and see with him.
That's kind of how I feel about Theo Johnson on the Giants too. Same thing. He's now. It's not exactly the same, but I kind of view them in a similar light.
Yeah, sure. There's opportunity. There's a path.
Yeah, it's the same spot where they're gonna get looks, and it all depends as to what they're gonna do with those looks.
Yeah,
I just
Exactly.
feel like we've seen enough from Brenton Strange already. Little flashes where it's like, okay, we saw what you can do when you actually, when you get the ball. So
Mhm.
now he's just gonna be getting the ball all the time. So hopefully he
Right.
keeps going with it.
People seem to forget he was a 2nd round pick in the NFL draft.
and that's why I like him
Yep.
because I look a lot at where they're drafted in the actual NFL because when you track that, It's the outliers that people fall in love with. And they're like, oh, well, this 5th rounder could be Puka Nakua. Yeah, but the chances are they're not. So like, don't bank on it. So like when you see it happen, it can be the truth. But like it's more likely than not going to happen, you know?
100%. More like the likelihood that does happen for someone that's way down the line, just not negligible.
All right. Do we want to move on to 24?
Sounds good to me.
Let's do it.
Cool. Skip on through a break here. And we'll read through the round 1 as usual here. So we've got Matt, sensing a theme of Matt being early in this draft. Matt with Caleb Williams, Rob with MHJ, Rob with Malik Neighbors, Coulter with Jaden Daniels, Anthony with Brock Bowers, Coulter with Roma Dunze, Brian with JJ McCarthy, Rob with Drake May, Mark with Xavier Worthy, Brian with Lad McConkey, Matt with Bo Nix, and Bo with Jonathan Brooks. Wah, wah, wah.
That's kind of crazy that Jonathan Brooks is really the only one that is you look at in that first round. You're like, ugh.
Yeah, for sure. It's a great draft. Otherwise, Roma Dunze hasn't done anything, but I'm not giving up hope.
Yeah, but you weren't.
JJ obviously got hurt.
Yeah, Roma Dunze, you're like, could be.
Yeah, it's still all right now for him. It's just all potential. I think he's looked down a little bit more just because they drafted Luther Burden and Colston Loveland.
Colston Loveland.
So now people are looking at Rome like, oh, maybe he might still be wide receiver. Or actually, he's not even going to be wide receiver 1 because they got DJ Moore.
Yep.
Yeah, no. Rome, the thing about Rome is that Rome needs to be really hyper efficient, needs to take a level up like AJ Brown did in his career. Because Rome is an X receiver by prototype, but he doesn't have the route running capabilities in order to level up right now beyond the streak down the field and just do a little move and post up. You know what I mean? So if he doesn't level up, he just has to be hyper efficient like a Mike Williams, even though he got hurt all the time. So it can still work for Roma Dunze, but he does have to flash that a lot more. And in order for that to happen, your boy Caleb Williams needs to step up.
Yes. 1,000%.
I mean, it all relies on him. Really.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, that whole team and everyone on there relies on him actually being able to be just competent.
Yep.
And that's
really it.
Yeah, that's it. That's a whole other thing. Like Caleb Williams, like let's say he doesn't. Let's say he doesn't take that next step, and now you have 5 mouths to feed. Like pretty much the fantasy value of everyone on that team just plummets.
Yeah, for sure. At least in current year, yeah. And then if he doesn't take a step up and he looks exactly like what he looked like last year, which I don't think was horrendous, but if he looks exactly like he did last year, do the Bears move on?
I wouldn't yet. I mean, it's only 2 years at that point, but I think you're going to be having a lot of. I think those conversations.
Everything right. Otherwise, yeah.
I feel like you have to hold. They have too long of a history of moving around and transferring with quarterbacks. You have to hold. You have to make it work. You have to bring in people from other places to make it work. You have to bring in trainers. You got to do everything. You have to kind of put it all in this one guy because it's gone on for way too long.
And if it doesn't work out, everyone loses their job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you just rely on Tyson Bagent, and Tyson Bagent finally.
I do actually really have a soft spot for Tyson Bagent. I like Tyson Bagent.
I like him a lot. I feel like when we see him play, it's not bad.
No, he looks good on the field.
Like, imagine, halfway through the season, Caleb doesn't work out, and he comes in and actually takes the team. It is the last year of his contract, too. It would be interesting. But hopefully Caleb works out.
Yeah, no, I think Caleb's going to work out. Yeah, and then MHJ, I love Marvin Harrison. I think he's one of the best wide receivers in the league from a talent perspective. He's just got to now put it on the field and get that brain sync with Kyler Murray to put it all out there because dude's so talented and so physically gifted. It's really hard not to see a path towards success. And even last year, I think he still put up like 800 yards and like 5 or 6 touchdowns. And like, that's super respectable. If you didn't have Malik Neighbors do what Malik Neighbors did, you still would have been happy with with MHJ. You just have Malik Neighbors go the fuck off.
Yeah. Malik Neighbors set the standard a little high for MHJ.
Yeah, for
but
sure.
MHJ definitely did not have like a bad year. As a Kyler Murray owner, I would consistently see, so-and-so passed to Marvin Harrison Jr. for this many yards, touchdown this way, touchdown that way. Like, I think Marvin.
Yeah, and it was consistent targets. They were just like off. They were off sync. So hopefully, just with another year in the system and everything like that, you see improvement this year. That's what I'm hoping for.
I think so. I mean, he had 8 touchdowns, Marvin Harrison Jr. this year,
something like that,
which is a pretty damn good amount for your first year in the league.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's just because he's big. He's a huge dude.
Mm-hmm.
So he's got the ups. So like he can definitely get up there and get it over the defenders' heads, which are usually smaller than them anyway. So he can just bully his way around on the field.
Big bully boy.
You know, it's funny looking here. Looking back on all these drafts, I feel like so far, I feel like a little bit of a highlight is just Rob. And even in this year's draft, I think it's funny that in a previous year, it was Kenny Pickett and Malik Willis on the basis that I need a quarterback. And then this year, not bad picks, but Marvin Harrison, Malik Neighbors. But then it's like, if you just went on that same thought process as a couple years ago or so, he could have ended up with Jaden Daniels or Drake May and JJ McCarthy, or even Bo Nix if he wanted.
Right.
It's just that sad, whole thing. And that's like, sometimes with like the drafts, it's just like, sometimes you just hit and sometimes it's a miss, but it's like, man.
When Lady Luck gives you a big old kiss, man, you got to smooch her right back.
But yeah, I think I'm still really impressed with this first round. I mean, even the quote unquote busts that we just talked about and Caleb and MHJ are still really hopeful, and you saw flashes of brilliance by both of them. So like you can't really call them a bust other than the fact that they didn't live up to their real world expectations.
True.
And then you've got Malik Neighbors, Jaden Daniels, Brock Bowers, who seems like the next generational tight end talent. I disagree with you there, Corey. I think we're going to see even better season out of him. There was a lot of opportunity and a lot to be desired from the quarterback position in that team. And we really didn't do much to add competition to his targets. Jack Besh is great. I love Jack Besh, but Brock Bowers is Himothy, as the kids say these days.
He's Himothy. Yeah,
he's Himothy.
I'm not like saying Brock Bowers is going to have like a bad year. I just don't think he's going to have as good of a year as he did his first year in the league.
Do you think it'll be as much of a drop off as, I guess it wasn't a drastic drop off, but similar drop off as Laporta?
Yeah, I would say it was
came in hot as the one huge first year. Everyone thought he was the next coming, and then there was a drop off, and it felt pretty steep at a certain point. But he did kind of recover it. I think he finished what? I think he's tied in 8, 7.
Yeah, I mean, I think Brock Bowers is gonna
from last season.
He'll regress, but he's not gonna fall off a cliff by any stretch. Like he'll probably still be like top 5. No, yeah, probably top 5 tight end. Like nothing less than that. I'm just saying it's
Corey. Let me put you on the spot. Who are your top 3 tight ends this year at the end of the season? Who finishes 1, 2, 3? Who's the podium?
Oh man, 1, 2, 3.
Because realistically, in fantasy, year to year, the top 4 or 5 tight ends are the only ones that matter. 6 through 15 are interchangeable.
Yeah. That's a good question. All right, on the spot. Let's see. I feel like I would probably do Trey McBride, probably number 1.
Sure, I would agree with you there.
I would probably do Trey McBride, number 1. I do still like George Kittle as well.
Agree with you there.
I could probably see myself slotting in Brock Bowers right here, number 3.
Okay.
And
all right.
Then,
as long as we're still sniffing top 3, top 4 with Brock Bowers, that's a respectable decline.
Yeah, right. I'm not saying he's gonna like absolutely fall.
You're not burying him. All right, cool.
And at the end of the day, like falling 3 spots is what? 30 points. 20
Yeah,
points.
it's still significant
Yeah.
for sure.
He'll still win you a season.
I still see him as the number one tight end this year. I think Trey McBride will slot in right behind him, and then I do expect George Kittle to be the third tight end this year.
I think George Kittle is going to be one based on their schedule and the fact that they really have no one else to move the ball to.
Yep, he could.
I think just on that alone, he's going to win out.
Yeah,
We'll
I could see that.
The problem is your boy Christian McCaffrey's going to play 17, so
All the checkdowns are going to him.
yeah, everything's just going to run through him.
Yeah, I guess. It's like he never got injured.
Yep, for 5
Like
games.
he never got injured. Listen, we've seen this before. All right, we're going to get another season out of Christian McCaffrey. We might get a second one, and then he's going to break his neck next.
Yeah.
I don't know, because we've done everything else that seems life-threatening and career-threatening, so why not do that? Why not go
He
ham?
hangs around Ricky, he might get shot.
Yeah.
Sure.
Next progression.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Who knows?
But no, I love that I have Christian McCaffrey on my team. But I do love George Kittle. I do think George Kittle is going to have a great season. All right, we'll move on to round number 2. We've got Greg with Keon Coleman, Matt with Trey Benson, Adrian with Brian Thomas Jr., Alex with Blake Corum, Coulter with Jalen Wright, Coulter with Michael Penix, Corey with Xavier Legette, Adrian with Adonai Mitchell, Mark with Troy Franklin, Alex with Ricky Pearsall, Matt with Jalen Polk, and Matt with Ben Sennett.
Not bad. Not as
No,
great
not
as the
bad.
first round.
Not as good as
bad.
the first round, but still a lot of potential left on the board.
A lot of potential, yeah. BTJ.
TJ is a slam dunk,
Yeah, slam dunk right there.
Probably definitely the win.
and then was traded away for peanuts.
Yeah.
Hopefully good peanuts.
Trey Benson, if Connor ever gets
Still,
injured,
or they move on from him.
Yeah, the year following this one, he'll probably take over as, I would guess, RB1.
I would assume so. Yep.
Michael Penix, I like that.
Yep.
And then
It seemed like it was such a bad pick at the time,
Yep,
but now it looks great.
it looks good. I like Ricky Pearsall too. Those are probably my top. And Ben Sennett, I think, has potential in the few years coming up. I don't know when
I
he's gonna
love
break
Ben
out.
Sennett. As soon as I trade him away, he'll break out.
I'm open to a trade.
Yeah, as soon as I trade him to somebody else, he'll break out. Don't you
Yeah.
worry about that.
Yeah, those are probably my tops for that round particularly. I had higher hopes for Blake Corum.
And I think he's still got a chance. It's diminishing rapidly, but I feel like it's like, you know, out of this entire round, the only one that I really see as like a loser is Jalen Polk.
Oh yeah, Jalen Polk is completely lost.
That's it. He's
Yeah.
gone. He's done.
I would say Adonai Mitchell needs to join your mindset there as well.
I think he's in the same thing with Blake Corum where it's fading rapidly.
I don't think Adonai's got anything left because, correct me if I'm wrong, he's on Indy, yeah?
Yeah, he
Yes.
is.
Okay, so you're never going to overtake Michael Pittman or Josh Downs. And now they have Tyler Warren. Adonai Mitchell's done.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and that's even, I get it, because didn't the Rams pick up another running back in the draft?
Yeah,
they
but I
just
can't remember
Jarquez.
what round it
Mhm.
was.
It was Jarquez Hunter.
What round was
that's
it?
right.
Oh,
He
that
does
I
have some
know.
hype.
Okay.
But
Because I still think they have more draft capital in Blake Corum than they did to take somebody this year.
yeah,
So Blake would still have the inside track.
Yeah. So
I-
not as diminishing as, you know, with Adonai, but
he's a 5'7" wrecking ball. Blake Corum. He's like the Jaguar great.
Mojo?
Drew. Yep.
I mean, I remember, you know, we were talking about it. He was one of the reasons why I wanted to move on from Kyron.
Yeah.
The tape looked good.
Yeah, I thought he was, because at the time I didn't necessarily think Kyron was going to take over. I thought they drafted Blake Corum to be that guy.
I was expecting a running back by committee on that one, like a 1-2 punch.
Yeah.
But I don't think McVay runs that. I think McVay likes to run one running back systems.
Yeah. I agree with that.
Rounds 3 through 5.
There's one major winner here.
One major winner.
Yep.
He was a heavy part of the conversation in the chat today.
Yep. There's a guy, some guy in training camp to look out for. Little Bucky Irving.
I can't believe Ryan traded away Bucky Irving for a first round pick.
Oh.
Like, dude, you're a fan of the team. You should have known how good he was.
You watched him practice.
You watched him practice.
Well, thankfully, Ryan's not an NFL GM. That's all I'll say.
Yeah.
Great defense on that team, though.
Oh, it would be like, who was it? Robert Saleh's Jets defense, great, phenomenal.
Yeah.
And the offense was Zach Wilson, Jimmy Butter.
But yeah, I mean, I feel like it's just Bucky. There's Isaac Guerrero, which you can make an argument for.
Yeah.
Braylon Allen, Will Shipley, Jalen McMillan, Tyrone Tracy.
Yep.
Really kind of fades. Ray Davis had some flashes, but you know,
I know.
It was just flashes.
Yeah.
Jatavian Sanders, obviously, is kind of just in a spot of potential.
I think he got really hurt.
He did get knocked out pretty bad. At the end.
It was a concussion.
I think it was a concussion.
Oh, okay.
You know,
so those could go either direction.
Yeah, but I mean, all the reports for him lately have been positive, so there's that at least going for him.
Because he looked really good before that,
right? Yeah, he had a really good streak going, and then that hit really. It was almost like a Tank Dell thing. Definitely not as severe, but
right. Well, he came back and he just looked not himself.
Yeah, concussed.
Yeah. So, hopefully that's behind him.
Yeah, hopefully it doesn't turn into another Chris Olave situation.
Yeah. I'll call out 2 IDP spots here. We got Bo and Greg grabbing Jared Verse and Byron Murphy in this draft, back-to-back in the 5th round. And Jared Verse won Rookie of the Year, if I'm not mistaken. And Byron Murphy put up a pretty hellacious season here for D-back.
Yeah, I didn't really pay attention to either of those guys this year, to be honest with you. But I did hear about Jared Verse. I mean, stud, 5th round. Part of the reason why Bo won again.
Yep.
I feel like the DB boost this year will kind of bring a lot more. I feel like there's just slowly becoming a lot more attention towards defensive players in the league lately.
I'm going to continue to stand on my soapbox of saying that we need to lock in positions and still have flex positions for IDP. All right, off soapbox.
If you want to play that soapbox, we should do kickers.
You don't get a soapbox.
Hey,
you don't get a say, Corey.
I'll tell you what.
I will remove you from this league.
We'll make a compromise. We'll do kickers, but then we'll also lock in the spots with flex IDP, so that way we both get what we want.
No. See, I'm the captain.
We'll both be upset.
This is why you don't get the soapbox. Who let him have the soapbox?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Give the talking stick to him.
Take it away. Someone come get it.
All right. Anybody else you guys want to toss out there before we take a quick break?
Nah.
I think that's it.
All right. Perfect. We'll take a quick break. Be right back.
Sweet.
All right. Welcome back, everybody. Thanks for letting us take that final break. We are going to round out this rookie draft review with the 2025 draft. Obviously, we've been talking about hits, misses, stars, studs. We can't really do that with this draft, obviously, because everything is just projected at this point in time. So this will feel a little bit different as we won't have that definitive nature of it. But good to look back at the draft and just kind of see what we're surprised by. Obviously, there's been some news that are affecting some of these players already. So that would have shaken up the draft quite a bit as well at the time. So just as a recap of round number 1, and I'll do round 1 and 2 at the same time here, and then we'll just dive in. So round number 1 was Anthony with Ash and Genty, Adrian with Tedero and McMillan, Anthony with Travis Hunter, Adrian with Amari and Hampton, Brian with Quentin what is his name? Judkins. Sorry. Quentin Judkins, Coulter with Travion Henderson, Brian with RJ Harvey, Corey with Cam Ward, Alex with Tyler Warren, Coulter with Colson Loveland, Bo with Caleb Johnson, Coulter with Matthew Golden. Start of round 2, we had Mark with Emeka Egbuka, Adrian with Luther Burden, Greg with Cam Scadaboo, Coulter with Jaden Higgins, Rob with Jack Besh, Corey with Jackson Dart, Anthony with Kyle Williams, Adrian with Bayshal Tootin, Alex with Trey Harris, Coulter with Jadon Blue, Ryan with Mason Taylor, and Rob with Jalen Knoll. Anybody that you guys immediately have a desire to talk about that you're itching to get in here and talk about, good or bad?
Well, I feel like since we had already mentioned it early on about me drafting a running back that's already in prison, but not yet.
But not yet.
Soon to be.
But not yet. Yeah. Quinshawn Judkins being that guy. That whole, obviously both my picks with Judkins and RJ Harvey, but Judkins has been the number one, so far we haven't even seen these guys on the field, and it's already one of the deeper regrets, and it really shouldn't have happened. The more that comes out about it, the more it just does not look good. And I think even if, they're going to, the football player thing, he's going to figure it out off the field in some form, but the NFL is definitely, it seems like it's going to be like a 6-game suspension. Browns are already clearly moving on from him. They'll come back around, but there's a hot chance that this just never happens and it becomes one of those stories of what could have been. But the fact that in order to draft Judkins, I traded away Breece Hall. And that was my gamble. And the gamble has not paid off already, and it's already looking rough.
Yeah, it sucks.
And it is definitely one of those weird spots where it's like there was really no red flags leading up, and it could have been great. But now there's a possibility that I traded Breece Hall for nothing. We don't know yet.
So what are you doing? You want to give us some insight, or do you want to hold that close to your chest at this time?
No, I'll give some insight. It's definitely one of those ones right now I'm holding to see, one, if the NFL does actually put a suspension down on him, which it seems like they will. But if they don't, then I think, even if it's less than 6 games, I can kind of get behind that. It also depends on if he even signs a contract with the team. If he doesn't sign a contract with the team, then there might be nothing to even sell if I wanted to. But I don't think that'll happen. I think he'll find a spot one way or another. To my understanding, the investigation is even still going on.
Yeah. So
there's a reality where he comes out of a clean slate. I mean, we've seen that a couple times.
Yeah. So here's there's a trade floating out there that was sent by yours truly, of course.
Of course.
And the thought process behind that trade is that for you, it's yep, I fucked up. Let me hit reset. Let me squeeze some juice out of this. I might not get as much juice as I could if I just hold and everything works out. But if everything goes the opposite direction, at least I still have some juice. For the person getting QJ, it's all right. I can sit on my hands if it takes a season. I can sit on my hands if it takes 2 seasons. So I can take that risk. Not me. I'm not saying it's me. That's not for me to determine.
It is one of those things that has to be thought about, because I was going into the season under the impression that I'd be running Harvey and Judkins as 1 and 2.
Yeah.
And now that has turned into Harvey and Charbonnet.
Right.
And Charbonnet is not even a RB1.
Right.
So,
and even
where
Harvey might be a committee too with Dominus now.
Yep, and that's getting muddier as well. So it does get into that spot of, if I'm just wanting to wait it out, you know, I mean, we've, you know, this whole podcast going through all the drafts, the amount of times we've come across people and we talked about trades where it's like, yep, I jumped and boy, do I regret jumping. And there's been plenty where I should have jumped. And so, I mean, I think this is going to come down to one of those where if I see an offer that comes across or I think of some kind of offer where it'll fit and I feel like I'll come out of it better down the line and it won't be as much of a loss on such an investment, then maybe. But he's also so young, and I made
and very good.
And very good. I made the joke when this initially popped up, but it is the NFL, you know, and from the investigation so far, there have been men in this league that have done far worse and come back to play and be really good at the, you know,
the problem is that it could easily go the other direction and Roger could just do a hammer on him. You know, you're a rookie. I don't give a shit. Get out of my league. You know what I mean? You don't mean anything to us.
Yeah, for sure. There is the possibility there. But, you know, and you know, and that's the thing of like, it's going to come down to the gamble of holding or not holding. Because if I don't hold and I send away and then tomorrow it comes out, yep, clean slate. He got his contract. Oh, we're on the up and up. He's actually going to be starting week 1. And it's like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
Maybe I shouldn't have fucking jumped and sent him away. Or it's going to be tomorrow we find out he's been banned from the league.
Right.
It's like, it's terrible, and I wish it didn't fall upon me. But the funny thing is, I don't think I'd be happy if I had Breece Hall right now because that's messy. And then I find myself in a spot with Breece Hall and Braylon Allen, and I wouldn't know who to start every week.
Yeah, it's really a pick your poison kind of thing. Which one?
Yeah.
What do you feel better drinking? Like, which one would you feel better taking? Which one would you feel better having? And with Quinshawn, like, I don't even know. That's such a big because like at the end of the day, like if that goes down, like it might be even more than just this year, if depending on what it is. You know what I mean? Like, if that comes out true, he actually gets arrested, all this stuff. Like he could be sitting out longer than 6 games too. Like he could be sitting out. Like it could go way sideways.
Forever.
Like, a much lower floor than Breece Hall, but also like a higher ceiling at the end of the day too. If he is starting week 1, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's a pick your poison. Which one do you want?
And for a team that is drastically trying to claw my way out of the rebuild spot, I am I'm frustrated that I find myself in this scenario. But you know, hey, that's why we play.
Just do better.
Just do
what we tell Ryan. We tell Ryan just do better.
Yeah.
Just be better.
Do better.
Yeah.
It's really that simple. It's what it boils down to.
It's got to be better.
It's got to be better. All right. So, Corey, I'm interested to hear about your strategy overall coming in because I actually really like the value you got on both of your picks, right? You had 2 picks in this draft? I'm not missing one?
Yeah. So, out of the first 2 rounds, I had 2 picks.
Yeah.
I had a third, but I traded back.
Okay. So, yeah, I'm just talking about the first 2 rounds, and then we can dive into the rest later. But, yeah, the Cam Ward and the Jackson Dart pick, I think those were both great values on your part.
That is the exact reason why I did it. So, my original thought coming into this draft was I need a running back. Like, it's plain. Everyone can see if they look at my roster exactly what I need. It's a gigantic, glaring hole. And I was like, all right, I need a running back. And I saw Cam Ward falling. Because I thought he was going to go like 103, 105. That was my anticipation. And when he fell to 108, I was like, Bo, let's make the trade. And I gave away, we swapped first, and I gave up my second to get Cam Ward because I also only had 2 QBs after trading away Justin Fields. So I didn't have a third QB in like on the back end in case Kyler tears his ACL again, knock on wood, God forbid it doesn't happen, or like something happens to Brock Purdy in his elbow. Like I have another QB who could step in just in case. So ultimately that just led to me going like, all right, I was shooting for a running back, but seeing as how the top 5 running backs got taken by pick I think 1.7 or 1.8 or something. Yeah, 1.7. I was like, all right, I'm going to go grab this QB. I'm going to take Cam Ward, a player who I thought was going to go 103, 105, and I'm going to take him at the 108. Someone who I never thought would even drop to me this far. And I was ecstatic. I was super happy I was able to get him. I was debating of not trading and taking Caleb Johnson at the 111, but I was like, it's a QB. I got to take the QB. I got to take that risk. So I did that. And then Jackson Dart, the exact same thing. Like Jackson Dart was 112, 201, 202, like that area. Like he had first round potential because he's a first round QB. And when he dropped all the way down to 2.6, I was like, nah, I'm not letting him pull a Shador Sanders and fall and keep falling. So I traded up, and I don't remember exactly what I traded for that pick. I swapped. Honestly, I don't even remember, to be dead ass. Like straight up, I don't know. I don't remember what I traded, but it was the same thing. Jackson Dart should not have fallen that far, and I was like, okay, it stops now. I'm going to draft him, and there was no running backs that I really had super high value on. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna jump up and take Jackson Dart, and that's exactly what I did. Because now I can sit on him, and worst comes to worst, I can always make a trade for running back. I'm not too concerned about that. But if Jackson Dart hits, I've now got a second round pick that's turned into a first round plus potentially. You know what I mean? So that was why I decided to go with Cameron Ward and Jackson Dart with my first two picks. But I came in originally anticipating taking a running back. I literally came into the draft and I was like, I'm taking a running back. I'm taking a running back. I'm taking a running back. And then I did. So I was like, all right, whatever. So be it. I took Cam Ward, took Jackson Dart. I was super happy with that.
The trade was with Coulter. Coulter got your Rob's 2027 second, the 211, and your 2027 second. And you ended up getting Jackson Dart, Coulter's 27 second, and your 26 third back. So overall, I think you won that trade.
Yeah. When I made the
in my opinion, yeah.
I like to think I did because I think Jackson Dart, he has potential to be a first round plus value. Like if he hits, I mean, his value is not going to go down because he's already going to sit the year out. It can only go up from here. You know what I'm saying? That's my personal thought on it.
Yeah, it's really just going to stay stagnant at worst.
Yeah, and so that was why I decided to do that. But like when I came into the draft, there was like, all right, I need a running back, and then there was a couple players who I'll kind of get into later on, who I was like, I have to leave the draft with these players. These are the players I want in the draft, and I'm going to take them wherever I can. But yeah, value was the exact reason. Long story short, value was the reason I took those. I took Campbell and Jackson Dart.
I thought both of them were great values. The two I'll call out are my own, and then I'll speak for Greg. So Emeka Egbuka, oh my God, I was so thrilled that he dropped to the second round for me. I wanted absolutely no part of Matthew Golden. So when Coulter took Matthew Golden at the 112, I literally think I saw that pick go through and I was like, fuck yes. And then there was a break, so I had to wait to draft him. So I'm very excited to have him on my team. I don't know if he'll do anything this season. It really is all going to come down to Chris Godwin's health. But I think that if he doesn't do anything this season, he's got a JSN-like path to success. Mm-hmm. I'm willing to wait 2 or 3 years to see how it works out because I believe in the talent of what I'm seeing out of Emeka coming from Ohio, right?
Ohio State, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm really excited. And then I know I had the 203, and Greg and I had kind of talked about that trade. I don't remember all the details about it, but the core of it was Cam Skattebo for Derrick Henry. And so I know Greg's really stoked to, again, we're seeing a rinse and repeat of what he did just in the reverse. So he's probably hoping that the opposite is true, that Cam Scattaboo actually hits and he's getting out just in time for Derrick Henry. And I'm hoping Derrick Henry's got another year left to give me a championship run. So it worked out, I think, for both of us, that trade, just because I think it fits what both of our teams need right now, realistically. And
like
Greg really loves Cam Scattaboo. So he got his guy, which is exciting, always.
Yeah, I feel like... Hold on, so...
No, you're good.
I feel like...
Anybody you want to... Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I was going to say, I feel like Greg, this is like... It's kind of like he's at a crossroads this year. It's either he comes in and competes, or this year is the year he's going to get the most value for his players. So he's got to go all in or go all out almost.
Yep, 100%. Brian, you got anybody that you want to call out here last minute? Or Corey, you got anybody else you want to chat about?
For the second round or for the rest of the...
For the second round, yeah, before we dive into the rest of it.
I like Kyle Williams. I think he's going to do pretty well.
He definitely has a path.
Yeah. I feel like Kyle Williams and Trey Harris are kind of in the same spot where there's a path.
Yep.
And I think those are probably the next two like kind of big ones coming out of that.
Yeah.
I like Mason Taylor as well. I could see a world where Mason Taylor actually has a role. I mean, Ryan better hope to God he does, because that's like his second most valuable piece.
That's one of the two players on his team that actually have projected points.
Right, exactly.
I mean, he has an entire defense on there. He should probably just trade some of those.
He would
get,
never.
All 5th round picks.
He's like Smaug. He's just gonna hold all of them.
Yeah. I think I tried once, and I've never felt so stupid for trying.
Yeah. What are you, an idiot? I'm gonna need at least 2 firsts.
Yeah,
but then he went and traded all the good ones to Bo and handed Bo another championship.
Well,
dick.
Ryan didn't have a choice; he was possessed.
Oh, by the way, can I hit rewind real quick and go back to round 1? I wrote a note down next to pick 103 that Anthony's a bitch.
That's perfect. I thought
so mad that we got him. So, Anthony, you bitch.
Yeah, I was like, Anthony, that little bitch. Wow.
That little bitch.
My guy. Travis Hunter, Jacksonville Jaguars.
Little bitch.
He does have the potential to be a cheat code.
I know. I'm excited for Travis Hunter. He's also a hard guy not to like.
I mean, he might just trade him for like some 3rd string running back halfway through the season. So
I think Anthony would be deathly afraid to trade another wide receiver in this league. Like if he ever gets another one that hits, he's like, I'm not trading this wide receiver. All right, let's go to the rest, 3 through 5. I've got 4 to call out. Let somebody else speak up first, though, if you guys got somebody you're itching to speak up on.
Will Howard. That's all I got.
Will Howard.
Will fucking Howard.
You heard it here first, folks.
There you go.
He's my new Will Levis.
Yeah, I had
a... I think not.
He's going to be a lot better than Will Levis.
Yeah, I was going to say, you better hope he's not Will Levis.
But on the side of me fully supporting a quarterback, yeah, Will Howard's my guy right now. I think it's going to be a pretty easy step in. If not this season, when Aaron Rodgers eventually breaks something in his brittle body, then next season when Aaron Rodgers quits football, Will Howard will be the guy to step in. And I mean, it's all training camp stuff, but everything from training camp looks so good.
Where did he get drafted?
That is a great question.
He was a late round pick.
Yeah, I think
6th
so.
Round. He was a 6th round pick.
6th round pick.
So you're hoping he's Tom Brady?
Yes.
You're hoping he's Brock Purdy?
Yes. I think he can be. I think they think he can be as well. I don't think they're going to be relying on Mason Rudolph to be headlining their team next year when they have a prospect that they all really enjoy and is shown to be pretty good. And I think if he has opportunities in the season because of a Rodgers injury, I think it's going to be pretty telling. And that's what I'm hoping for, at least for my fantasy team. Because with my quarterback situation, if a Will Howard came into the picture and was really good, then I would be pretty happy. Especially with the
happy little boy.
Happy little boy.
Yeah, I mean he has potential. If there's a team where he could do it on, it's definitely that one behind Aaron Rodgers.
Yep.
Could be like a
and
Jordan
that's the
Love
other thing
situation.
too.
It's not
He,
his fault.
100%. Yeah, and I think if you're gonna have a prospect learn behind anyone, I guess Rodgers would be a pretty good option.
Mm-hmm.
There's better ones, but he's a pretty good option to learn behind.
Or he'll go, do some peyote in the desert with Aaron Rodgers. You never know.
Maybe.
Never know.
And ayahuasca.
I am.
Yeah,
go ahead, Corey.
No, you go
ahead, Corey.
Oh.
No, you go.
Okay.
Bring out the soapbox.
All right, I'll go. I was going to say, like, when I came into the draft, there were 3 players in the later rounds that I was targeting. And I was like, these are the 3 players that I need to leave this draft with. And that was Harold Fannin. I got all of them. So, spoiler alert. The first one was Harold Fannin. I absolutely loved him. He runs like Isaiah Pacheco. Like, he's very stiff, but I don't know. I love him. And then
some people really love Harold Fannin. I don't know anything about him. I didn't watch any tape about him, so I own 0 shares of Fannin.
Yeah, I think that he has potential to be really good, but he's behind Njoku, so we'll see how that goes. But I wanted to get him also as like an Njoku handcuff, so to speak. And I wanted to leave with Alec Eominor, and I wanted to leave with Isaac Tesla. And then there was a 4th Kyle Monongai who I wanted, but I wasn't able to get. So those guys, I think they all have potential. And then Tesla, I saw in the game tonight, he has like the 31st of July, whatever, the Hall of Fame game or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
He's got like 2 receptions, 46 yards already. So let's go.
Yeah. I said during our break, we were kind of chirping about this, and he's one of the ones that I wrote down. So I'll chime in here. So I believe the Lions traded 2 third-round picks, one in 25 and one in 26, to move up to get Tesla or whatever his name is. So that, and it was an early 3rd pick, I believe, that they moved up to go get him. So that shows a lot of buy-in to a player when you're willing to spend multiple picks on them.
Mm.
And they do need another receiver to break out in this offense. They need somebody to take the heat off of Sam Laporta, off of Amon-Ra, because Jared Goff isn't going to have as much time in the pocket this season. They've lost a couple offensive linemen, so he's going to have to make decisions a little faster. And in order for that to work for Jared Goff, we've got to have another offensive weapon step up.
Yep, one of the reasons why Tesla is the guy.
Yep,
and also,
he's your Puka, right?
Yeah, he is my Puka. But then again, I also sniped Ryan for Alec Eominor, and I forgot who else. I sniped someone else for him too. But I like jumped over 2 people to make that trade, and they were both pissed at me. So sorry, guys.
Don't apologize.
Sorry, losers. Should have been better.
The last ones that I'll round out the pod with is Dylan Sampson. I kind of had my eye on him anyways, but I didn't have enough picks to really go after anybody that I liked. But Dylan Sampson I really like. And now with all the QJ stuff, I mean, even more, I think he's going to get a shot.
Mm-hmm.
Terrence Ferguson. I love Terrence Ferguson. So similar to your love for Fannin, I love Terrence Ferguson. I have him in a couple of leagues, so I'm pretty pumped for him. And then I'm really interested to see what happens in Cleveland and see if Shedeur Sanders can actually start.
I'll let you know. They give us like free tickets to go there and watch their like training camp and stuff like that.
Cool.
I've yet to go, but yeah.
Oh, so you're going to be our insider then on that.
I could be.
Nice.
You let us know who the QB1 is before the NFL figures it out.
Before Pickett got hurt, I heard he was more likely going to be the QB1, but now Flacco.
Yeah.
Then I also feel like I hear stories every week about like Flacco's leaving. So who knows?
I don't know. That's just what I've heard as the Browns insider.
Yeah.
All right, gentlemen. Well, I really appreciate this. This was a lot of fun. I love looking back at these. So I know we promised we would be posting and talking about awards and stuff, but we're already running longer than we anticipated. So we'll cut this short. We will post the polls. We'll just be talking about it privately and posting those with the recording here. So give us a few days on this. So we'll post this probably over the weekend. I'll get to it. So thanks again, everybody, for listening. Thank you, too, for joining me.
Of course.
And that's all for now.
Yeah,
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, y'all. Adios.